Hello audience, lovely to see you again. So what have you been up to? I went to go see Green Day at Wembley Stadium. Frank Turner supported, but I missed that. A lot of traffic, and on the way someone crashed into the side of my dad's car. It wasn't bad. It was just changing lanes at a roundabout and there was some side-on-side collision. Anyway, that's not really important. So anyway, after Frank Turner, it was Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Now that's when we did get there. I really like Joan Jett. I think she's fun, and she does songs such as this. It's a song that you probably know, you just didn't necessarily know it was by her. Then after that, between Joan Jett and Green Day, a man dressed up as a pink bunny came on. I have no problem with the pink bunny. Entertain the crowd before the band comes on. I'm fine with that. Didn't do anything, just came on and was just drinking cans of beer. If you really want to impress me, how about you neck a bottle of wine? But then it was saved when he started doing the YMCA, because I'm all for the 80s cheese, especially if there's a dance involved, and watching however many thousand people it was throwing their arms in the air. I always do the C the wrong way. Anyway, then Green Day came on. They do songs such as this. And this. And this. Don't know whether them doing the Beatles was a little bit sort of cliche, trying to win over the English audience. That's just my cynical side. One thing that I really appreciated about them is they had a lot of audience interaction. There was one guy who got up on stage and just started making out with Billy Joel Armstrong, the lead singer. That was interesting. There was one kid, they got up on stage and he literally got to sing this whole song. Can you imagine being a huge, you know, you've gone to see your favourite band, you've waited hours to be stood near the front, and then the lead singer picks you up and brings you on stage to sing a whole song. These kids were all running off the end of the stage and stage diving into the crowd, and it was just excellent to watch. I really get off on like seeing other people when they're having a really good time and a lot of fun. Not in that way. Another thing that I have to mention is the pyrotechnics that they had. They took advantage of the fact it was in a stadium and they had loads of fireworks that had come boom at the end, beginnings of songs, and especially at the encore they've just had a massive sort of like explosion. Confetti. I do love a bit of confetti. The backdrop was actually pretty interesting because they had the side screens where the guy with the camera was filming the band, but the back screen was very much like a TV screen and kept changing backgrounds and would sometimes have cityscapes, or one time it had stacks of TVs which actually within each individual TV would show the footage that was being filmed. It was very interesting, very well sort of thought out. So it was almost like a play and they were changing the stage backdrops. Considering how chilly it was, there were a lot of times when they paused for that little bit too long, waiting for the, you know, to get the crowd cheering. Wembley Stadium, just big enough to hold Billy Joel's ego. Oh no, she didn't! But they were humble about it. You know, they kept saying, you know, we're so excited, we're never going to forget this and all this kind of thing. So that was nice. The one thing I do have a problem with, however, is they didn't play Warning. That's my favourite song. It's not even like it's an album track. It was released, it had a video and everything. See? See? Click. Link. And they didn't even play it. I was so upset. And I don't know whether they could have been just as good in an inside arena, whether they did totally fill the stadium. Not in a literal sense like was it sold out, but whether I would have perhaps preferred to see them in the Wembley Arena or the O2 Arena, or just was the stadium necessary? I get that they're popular, that's totally fine, but they did play all of their well-known songs. You know, I hate these bands that come on and they just do their new stuff and maybe one old song. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear that. If any of you went to go see Green Day or have a different opinion, just leave it in there. Or if you went to go see them at the O2, just tell me like how they compared, whether you did prefer them in the arena or in the stadium. Leave a comment below, just tell me. Green Day's gig was fantastic. I really enjoyed their stage theatrics, their energy, their interaction with the audience, the overall performance, but I'm going to have to knock them down a few for not playing Warning and for maybe not necessarily having to be in the stadium and for making us wait a bit when they wanted the crowds to cheer. So I'm going to have to give Green Day an 8 out of 10. that's about all I have to say about Green Day. I got pretty excited this week because I found out that Murder Dolls are playing Ozfest. You like really awful music. I'm very aware that I like awful music, but I don't care, and I'm very, very excited, so please don't ruin it for me. That's a long time, I won't be reviewing that for a while. So I hope you guys have a nice week, nice couple of days, and I will be back with you soon, updating you on what I'm doing. Okay, see ya!